Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Brian Plays. Today's game will be Super Mario Bros. 2, the American version. And this is the version that everybody thought was the true sequel to the original Super Mario Bros. But we in the States were way off on this. If you watched my video on Super Mario Bros. 2 for Japan, you would hear the backstory and the history behind that game and why it was released only in Japan at its initial release. And how Howard Phillips from Nintendo of America thought that the game would be too difficult for Americans and it might have some backlash to an already sensitive market that was just getting over the 1983 video game crash. So, Super Mario Bros. 2 was released in October of 1988 in the United States. And first you can notice that you can play as 4 different characters for the first time ever: Toad and Princess Peach. And it's the first game where you can tell that Luigi's taller than Mario. So basically this game has one of the craziest histories of games back then. We'll pick Mario first, I guess. If I die, I'll go to the next character. If I go to the next level, I'll pick the next character. We'll do it like that, I guess. Of course, Shigeru Miyamoto is the creator of Mario, but Kensuke Tanabe directed this game. And in Japan, after the success of Super Mario Bros., they needed to figure out a way to make a sequel that would be interesting. And Tanabe, he developed a prototype for a Mario game in which players would have, it would be like co-op play, and you could work together to pick each other up, and you can toss your partner into the sky and kind of move the screen in a vertical manner, almost like this area here. But when they tested it out, it wasn't really groundbreaking, and the Famicom really couldn't handle the mechanics of this prototype all too well. So they had the idea shelved, but they kept it in the back of their minds just in case. But ultimately, they decided to make a closer to home sequel to the original Super Mario Bros. And that's the game that I played earlier in the week. So that game came out in Japan, and it was a huge success. But the United States needed the game, and how would you serve up an encore of Mario for the North American side of the world? Well, they didn't really know. In 1987, Japan had a special event where children's shows and music videos, they were put on. It was called a Yume Kojo, and that literally means dream theater. It was basically like a festival, almost how they have the future of games and technology at E3. They give it like that, but for children's shows and a lot of different categories of entertainment. So Fuji Television, I believe, was sponsoring this Dream Theater, and they contacted Nintendo with an idea. They had 4 characters in mind, and they came to Nintendo and they said, make a game with these characters. And these characters will be the mascot for this Dream festival. So that's where they got this idea. These characters were like, they had like Arabian descent. Their names were like Imagine, Mama, Papa, and Lena. And the prototype that Tanabe came out with the picking up of the characters and moving the screen up vertical, they decided to use that prototype and they created a game called Doki Doki Panic. Doki Doki is an onomatopoeia for beating heart. So it's like beating heart panic. I'm gonna see if I can jump over here. Oh, that is weird. Okay. Well, I don't want to skip ahead, so I don't think I will go down here. I could. Well, I want to show you everything. So I can go in here and show you where it leads to. So it leads you back here. It's like the back door to the boss. See? And that's Birdo, the first appearance of Birdo. Let me reload where I was though. Alright. So Doki Doki Panic came out and it was a good game. It had the Mario prototype that was never used, and it was incorporated into this game. Now, in America, they needed a new Mario game. There were already third-party companies creating sequels like Mega Man and Castlevania, and of course, Nintendo didn't want to be overshadowed. I mean, can you imagine Mario being overshadowed by like Simon Belmont or Mega Man? So basically, Nintendo of America contacted the Japan side of the world and said, "What's going on with Mario?" So Tanabe and Miyamoto and the rest of the gang, they decided to take the Doki Doki Panic and transform that into a Mario game. They would take the 4 main characters that you can select and turn them into Mario, Luigi, which you've already seen in the original and in the sequel, the Japan sequel. But they would add Princess Peach as a playable character and Toad, since he was part of the Mushroom Kingdom. And that basically is how each of the characters got their attributes. You know, Mario was the average character. He could do just about everything well, but nothing too spectacular. I believe Lena was transformed into Luigi, and that gave Luigi his height for the first time. And they continued the idea that he could jump further up. However, he was slow. And the Papa character turned into Toad. Toad was known for his strength. Believe it or not, even though he was small, he could pick up items really fast because of his strength. And then Princess Peach could float in the air. And one day I might play Doki Doki Panic. But in the game, there are certain items you pick up. Like, they're like mushroom blocks. Well, they used to be masks because this was, remember, for the Fuji Television Dream Theater Festival. So they had different masks and items that were going to be used in the festival. So they would change them into mushrooms, and they would use Starmen to reflect the Mario series. And it worked. And the game was released, like I said, in October of 1988. And it ended up being the 4th highest selling video game for the NES. And the original also had a slot machine just like this. And of course, everything was a little revamped. That they fixed a lot of the mistakes and graphical glitches, and they made it better. So this is a more polished game than Doki Doki Panic. That's a little trick. If you go really fast, if you get a cherry, you get a 1-up real quick. You just need 1 cherry. So, the fans in America had no idea. I mean, it looked like a Mario game. It was a little different, but by nature, when you have a sequel, you expect, changes. And the game did look and play better than the original Mario. And it was funny because the other game was, a huge part of the game was based on stomping on enemies' heads. In this game, you cannot kill any enemy by stomping on them. It all has to do with picking the enemy up. And as far as the story for the game goes, I believe Mario he had a dream that he was led up a staircase into a secret door, but then he woke up, but he told his friends about the dream, the other 3 characters, and they also recounted having that dream. But one day they decide to go to a picnic, and they find that, I think they find like a cave, and it leads into a stairwell, and they enter the door, and they're in this special world. So right then and there, if it's a dream in a special location, that would be your perfect excuse to have new characters that weren't from the first game. And the fans bought it, and it turned out to be a good game. For the music, Koji Kondo returned from the original Super Mario Brothers. These potions lead into the sub-world, and that's where you can find mushrooms. Every coin you pick up in the sub-world equals a game at the slot machine. Probably the 3 main things from this game that are part of Mario lore is the fact that you can be Peach and Toad, Birdo, Shy Guy, they all make an appearance. And you see these characters occasionally in future games. But this game was such a success that in Japan, I believe it came out a year later, which also happened to be during the same month that we got Super Mario Bros. 3. So that ended up being a big year for Mario. I try to get 3 in a row, but sometimes it's easier just to get the cherry. There we go. to market this game, it was coming out just a few months after the debut of Nintendo Power, the magazine for the NES. So they made a good decision to include this game on the cover of the premiere issue. So that issue I think came out in the summertime, so people were hyped up for this game to come out in October, by the end of the summer. After playing the Japanese version, this game is fairly easy. Although there could be some tricky spots. And I say that before I cross the waterfall. Now there are warps here as well, and I'm not going to take them. Where should I take this? I'm gonna save it here because I might actually get a warp by accident. There's no reason to save this game for fear of dying. Nah, there was nothing here. I had to... Oh, that is the warp, see? Alright. I'm so glad I saved it. Well, this can become a secret tips video as well. For those of you who have seen the Earthworm Jim video that I made yesterday, it's funny when I was in What the Heck, that level, and that tune that was playing, I forget what the name of that song is, but I do know it's a real song. And as soon as the video posted, I'm like, Facebook is going to watch them send me some kind of copyright thing. And would you believe 5 minutes after I posted the video, it said that it had to be partially muted because I used songs that weren't part of my that weren't my own creation. So I had no idea what partially muted means, but they gave me a sample of my video. It was actually the whole video, and they said the part that is muted, the part that's edited is already been done, so I can listen to it if I want. I could not find what was muted. So if anybody saw my video all the way through with the Earthworm Jim, let me know. Because that What the Heck part was not muted. I could hear myself speak, and I could hear all the music. So I don't know. I was thinking maybe a car outside went by. Who knows? But I'm glad they didn't just take the video away. Because if I talk for over an hour for no reason, because Facebook wants to be copywritten police, then that's crazy. But the video's up, people could see it, and I didn't hear any complaints that it was muted anywhere. So I don't know. Then after that I was curious, can I make videos of me playing games? I mean, you see it everywhere, and I'm just playing off the system too. I don't have any special device that makes it clear like you see professionals. And I went on the Nintendo website because I know Nintendo is really strict. And they said it's okay to live stream games. They have an exception though, they don't want you to play from beginning to end without having some of your own in-game activity and commentary. So what you see in my videos is me playing and me commenting, and according to Nintendo, that's perfectly alright. This guy is called Mouser. He's a pain to get the time in, and since I'm almost dead, I gotta be careful. There you go. I remember with this game, everybody's favorite character was Peach, because she can float. Now you can go inside of these, I don't even know what you want to call them. They're not pipes. But 90% of them will just have nothing in there. Ah, he changed his pattern. That's alright. And this is really the first Mario where you have different themed worlds. I said in an earlier video that Mario 3 really did that first, but this is a themed world. If you kill a certain amount of enemies, you'll trigger the heart to come out. There should be a mushroom here, yeah. Peach doesn't have the quickest pickup. She's kind of like Luigi. If you trigger enough, if you get enough cherries like that, you'll trigger the Starman to come up. In the original Doki Doki Panic, you had to beat every level with every character, so you pretty much had 4 playthroughs. But the game had a save feature, so in this game they cut out the save feature, but you can share the levels between characters. I'm gonna switch back to Mario. You can even see Mario's design looks better. He's almost to his regular design in the 2D. not getting the mushroom in each level, that's really the deciding factor if a level's going to be hard. Because the game isn't really super difficult. But having just 2 hits to die is probably what makes it tough. See how everything's pretty much the same. And of course, this world is called Subcon, and since Mario's dreaming, it's a play on the word subconscious. Okay, what's after this part? Anything? You can definitely see the lag. Is there anything here? It's been so long since I played these games. Uh-oh. That didn't work out. Of course, you can't double up on lives. That wouldn't be fair. Remember I said I hold the B button all the time? That's why I kept throwing it. Usually when I play, I'm always holding down the B button. But in that case, that would never work. I'm holding those bombs. That's the most energy you can have in a level in this game. You can cause chain reactions too, like that. Well, that didn't work out. Let's try it again. There we go. All those, I guess, jars you can call them. There's nothing special in them. See, because you can't stomp on enemies, you basically cannot kill these guys unless you throw one into another. See these blocks here? In Doki Doki Panic, they would be masks. There you go. It's funny how the character select screen is like a stage. You can see the curtains. And if you look at the beginning of Mario 3, when the opening title starts up, it's once again a stage. So you're wondering, is Mario really a movie star? Filming movies? And acting out in scenes? Or is he really going through adventures? And then with this game, you have to wonder, is he dreaming? Or did this really happen? I think when I was younger, I used Luigi a lot. Him and Peach. He might be able to reach the top. Yeah. I think he was the only character that could reach the top. Without having help. See, if you have a good memory, you can remember which one is the potion. Alright. Remember, this guy was always so annoying. Always try to knock out enemies, because you might be one away from getting a heart. When this game came out, it basically cemented Mario as the top franchise for the Nintendo. Rightfully so. Is this a bomb? No, power. can pretty much build up a steady amount of lives that should carry you for most of the game. Now, in Doki Doki Panic, these waterfalls could give you a seizure, but they really toned them down for this game. I guess it's important for a developer to really get their waterfall animation correct. This enemy is like Lakitu, the cloud that throws the smileys. It just gives you enough time. You really can't mess around, otherwise you won't make it. We're not going to get any shortcuts today, since I want to show you the whole game. I don't think there'll be a mushroom here. I don't know. Oh, okay. I don't know how many times I've gotten that one. If you can't make it back to the door, that's fine. In the original Doki Doki Panic, getting hit by an enemy did not shrink you. This was just it was just a feature for the Mario game, because in the original Mario he would shrink. Well, I guess I am screwed. That's alright. Yeah, like in this game, if I get hit one more time, so I only have one health left, I will shrink. See? Having Peach as a playable character was a great idea too. It got a lot of girls into Mario. Oh, that looks weird on the dark. Now I could use Peach to glide across. We'll go back this way though. I could have kept going actually. Suicide by ostrich. Ah! It's always best to take bombs that are further away. Can this go down the ladder? Well, I guess not. That's not good. Well, then I got to go back. Sometimes it's a little tricky if you get too close and you drop the bomb, it'll kind of get stuck against you. Now, of course, you could have just floated back on the surface to get past this. See that gap? You could have just bypassed it. And you can bypass this part too, I believe. You get 3 shots at this, but you can always reset it. See? I always forget which side to blow up, and well, better hope it's that side. No, that's alright. And I'm not sure. I think if you go back, you don't get that potion anymore. So it's a one-shot deal. Oh, finally got some timing going. I think this will be the last level we do today. I've had a couple of rough days in a row where I've been busy pretty much the entire day until this time. And I believe this is the first appearance of the bomb on. You can almost get an idea where they might put a mushroom, like on top of that. And I think you could bypass a lot here as well. I mean, you have to go on the top one, but we'll go here first. Let's see what's over here. I forget. See? But here you can just run across like this. If you throw the key off the screen, where you lose sight of it, I believe it's gone. It's gonna be tough with no extra help. Oh, that really hit me? I don't think so. It's good that they start you here, though. It's a fairly relaxed game. This is the area where we couldn't get up last time when we took the bottom door. So, try not to fall down there. Of course. You know, I'm holding the button down. I don't know why. I've been doing that. Yeah. No way I was gonna make that. Mario isn't the best character for this level, but I'm just going by one at a time. I'm not going by any strategy. It's pretty much like playing random in Smash Brothers. Anybody will do for me. Doesn't matter. You can't jump anywhere. Alright. You could trigger a heart. Yeah, there we go. That will help. But there's no boss fight here, so... Until you get through here. Now this character was in the same version for Japan. It's called Mouser. But there is a new boss that they added in the American version that I'll point out when I get there. We'll go on a little bit more. I always like this level, I think because of the snowy theme. And the fact that you can run across is always fun. But the ice hazard wasn't always fun. Especially Luigi's speed. So we're really not picking good characters in the last couple of levels. Toad would probably be good here. The mushroom would have been over there. Alright, I don't know where it would have been over there. Yeah. If this game didn't get better, it now does with rockets. So kids definitely like this game. I think these guys are called flurries. It's like the real slots in Vegas. See, Toad is a lot more controlled on the ice than Luigi was. Watch the mushroom be on the tail, right? Yep. No, if I fell in that water, I'm not sure. I think I would die. Yeah. Doesn't matter if you're in the subworld or not. This was a pretty neat idea back in the day. Jumping is very scary when it's a single platform. I was probably better off using the like the power jump. I wonder where that mushroom was. I guess I'll try the power jump across. Nah. Well, that's the disadvantage of Toad. He's just too quick. Very wobbly on the jumps. This is why a lot of beginners use Peach. Because she can just float across. She never really has to worry at all. Whoa, that pushed me right onto the tail. You know, that might have actually helped me. Now, that would be a warp, I think, to the last world. But we're skipping warps. Because we want to see the full game. Toad is the best at fighting these guys because he can pick one up real quick and avoid getting hit by the other two. Oh, oh, here we go. Strike 3. Sometimes you have to sacrifice coins for the mushroom. You could just ride the egg all the way across. I think you can fly across as well with her, but we'll play the traditional way. She's actually good to have for this level. And these type of areas, you can see the prototype that Tanabe had in mind in terms of vertical scrolling. I do not know what a mushroom is. Nope. I forget if there was anything over here. I think there definitely was. I could always see. That's one reason why I like these save states. Because, I mean, people might use them to play cheap. But you can also use them to check out secrets. You could take leaps of faith. There was probably something at the top if you went to the right. I'm not sure. There had to be a reason for it. Let's see. Well, I guess not. No harm, no foul. Yikes. Too bad you can't kill him. He's gonna be annoying pretty much the whole time. Alright. If that was Metroid, you probably would have been getting killed in the doorway. Whoa. This is gonna be hard. I think he's called Fry Guy? Not sure. Uh-oh. Alright, you don't want to get burned by these little guys. They can leap far, too. Now they're getting crazy. Nice! I think on that note, we will end it. Alright, when we continue, we'll have Mario. We'll be in World 5-1. So, hope you liked it. Let me know what you think of Super Mario Bros. 2, if you like the USA version or the Japan version. I would say USA just because of the difference to the original and the variety of characters you can pick. So, that'll be another night and another game and another time. And I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.